I think I was around 5 years of age, and I remember praying, and my mother asking me if I wanted to go ahead and accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And that discussion, I'm sure, had taken place over time, and I did. And I remember praying, and it's funny because not that I'm bragging, but out of 5 siblings, I think I was kind of the prayer warrior, and it could have had something to do with that. I like to think so anyway. College was a good experience. I went to University of Delaware, but I joined the Navigators and then Campus Crusade for Christ, and participated in those groups and things of that nature. So God tried to keep a short leash. I wandered. I was like the typical person in the envelope that strayed to the edge, but He always brought me back, and I'm very grateful. Introduced me to my wife in church back in Pennsylvania, Marcus Hook Baptist Church, and my family went there. Gayle's family went there. We both sang in the choir. I was a aspiring pianist, never took a piano lesson in my life, but yet I played one morning in church, and Gayle sang with me, sitting next to me on the bench, and somehow we survived that, but it worked. I knew in my heart that this was the woman for me, and I wanted a family, and she was willing, and I drove a Trans Am at the time, so I think that had something to do with it.
No, I did not know that he had a Trans Am. I did not know that. I mean, I did after we started dating, but I did not know that when we first started dating. Everybody says that. It's not true. In 3rd grade, during a chapel, I accepted Christ, and I just knew that, like, I always tell Denny this. I can't remember if it was a week before or a couple weeks before, but I remember kids going up, because whoever came to that chapel was giving out free Bibles. And all these kids were going up for the free Bible. And I was like, they're just going up for the free Bible. They're not getting saved, you know. And even though I kind of was at the point where I really did want to accept the Lord, I was like, no, I'm not going, because I'm not going up there for the free Bible. It bothered me. I mean, I just remember that very clearly. And it was like the next week that there was another chapel service, and that was kind of quiet. And I remember the guy said, if you accept the Lord, I don't even remember who he was, but I just remember, if you accept the Lord in your heart, just make sure you tell your parents and tell your teacher. And I did, and I went back in the classroom, I told my teacher, and I went home and told my mom.
You didn't get a free Bible?
No, because that was the week before. I didn't do the free Bible thing. 6th grade, I was kind of, could go with the good kids, the bad kids, and, you know, I was maybe kind of going toward, you know, doing things I shouldn't have. And my parents, we were going to Word of Life camp in Screw Lake, New York, and really, truly dedicated my life to the Lord that time. And I just said, all right, that's it, Lord, I'm just living for you. And I knew I wanted to have a Christian husband, and always, really from that point on, prayed for a Christian man. And
especially one with a Trans Am that played the guitar.
Yeah, no. I knew he played the guitar, but I did not know anything about the Trans Am.
You know, the rest was kind of history.
Got married.
Oh, we got married. Yeah, we did get married.
Did get married, yeah.
But
yes, we did.
Yeah, so that's where we got married, and what did we do after that?
We had 3 children.
3 children. Born and raised in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Lived there, married in 1980, and then I got picked up by the federal. I was working actually for the federal government, but I got into the law enforcement arm of the Postal Inspection Service, and got transferred down to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so we spent 6 years in Tulsa. I worked Tulsa, Texas, areas around that area. Gayle was a nurse at Oral Roberts Medical Center. It really is the buckle of the Bible Belt, as they say, and it was pretty cool. We met a lot of good people down there, visited a lot of good churches, and made a lot of friends. But from there, we transferred to Northern Virginia because I got a job in downtown DC, working with my agency, and they picked me up to do internal affairs investigations. So I did that for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And that's what got us into Northern Virginia. Mm-hmm. So from that point on, we decided to stay for like 22 years. Gayle went back to school, got her master's degree, became a nurse practitioner, family nurse practitioner. So then she started in a GI practice and did great things. And I continued to work until I retired. Did a lot of different things, was up on the Hill for a few years as a legislative assistant, ran a technical services division, a polygraph unit. So I had a very colorful career, but pretty much worked in DC until I retired in 2012. Started the practice, investigations, security, different things as a consultant for the most part. Did that for a couple of years while Gayle's business grew. And then learned that my parents were experiencing some pretty significant medical issues. And even though I have 5 siblings, they weren't really in a position where they could relocate and invest themselves in that particular project at the time. So we did. We up and moved, sold our house, and was not an easy task. Came here to Delaware and found a house, sat out in front of the house on weekends, prayed, asking God to give us that house. And he did. Probably irritated the neighbors because they were wondering who these people were from Virginia that kept on pulling
Yeah,
into...
because we said they see the Virginia license plate, every other weekend or something. But it all worked out, yeah. Now you've got to come before the Lord for these things. In our marriage, it's like we can't do these things on our own. There's too many things, and if you sit back, which sometimes we do, and I find things where I wrote, prayers and answers to prayer. It's just amazing how God answered the prayer. He didn't always do it the way we thought he was going to, but he brought us through,
Everything that you do in life sometimes is a journey, and it does bring you close to the Lord and to each other. And so that's what got us to Delaware. My parents lived for about a year or so, and they both passed. And so we decided to kind of invest ourselves in something to help the senior community, because that's part of our heart. We dealt with my parents in that regard. We then invited Gayle's parents to move up to be with us. And so now we're hosting 2 additional seniors in our home. And it provides us additional skill sets because we did start a company, Secure Solutions. And Secure is basically a company that caters to the safety and security needs of senior populations.
Because we saw firsthand the need with his parents. We were an hour away, and you can't always be right there, and it's well needed in the community, and that people can live alone, and their caregivers have peace of mind that they have a button they can press. So it is a ministry. It really is, because when we go out, we see a lot of different home settings, how should I say? Living environments,
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with aging in place. We're all aging in place. We're all going to leave the earth. So this is just an opportunity for us to go out there and just show them some compassion, instruct them in something that's going to be helpful for them.
And be kind and show them that you care.
We always let them know that we're here basically as God's messengers. We're here to do his work. And again, that's just not a meaningless mantra. We just try to incorporate that into our installation and delivery process. And you can sense, these people are, like I said, they're hurting. Either they have a debilitating condition. We've dealt with young people. Some of our clients are in their 30s, and they have a very serious medical condition. Some are 95 and still driving, and clueless as to the fact that they may have, the need to push this button. Some people test the device accidentally, inadvertently. Some people test it intentionally because they want to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. They're lonely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Biggest complaint we get from the seniors, even in Sussex County, but throughout the state of Delaware, which we cover, is they're lonely. And this is when we get into conversations that deal with people and relations, knowing that God is a relational God. He wants us to have a relationship. So we try to encourage. There's a lot of people out there that are just not happy with life, and they're kind of clueless because, again, they don't really have this pathway to eternity. Mm-hmm. Some of them do, absolutely. Some of them are very content and at peace, but there's a lot out there that are kind of confused as to why I'm here.
Winding down from being busy with the Postal Inspection Service and working full-time as a nurse practitioner, we've kind of come together to do this. And it's good. We'll be married 41 years this year, December 27th. 41,
41
and
and counting. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
God willing, we'll do another 40 years.
Ooh.